Hello, guys. So, I want to talk about transmutation. So, my path is a path of integration and transmutation. It's about, for me, it's about meeting all of the places inside where I'm not being like what my being is. So my being is open, free, loving goodness. It's peace. It's all of these kind of sweet divine qualities. But within my being and within my psychology, there are these wounded aspects of self, which may be fearful, which may feel ashamed, which may be angry, frustrated, and all the different challenges that I experienced through my childhood and through my life and maybe from past lives show up within me now, show up within this beingness now. And life is miraculous in that it gives you the very situations you need to continuously bring these wounded aspects of self up to the surface of experience. Now, one way in which we deal with this in spirituality is what you could call transcendent. One way that some teachers speak of dealing with these psychological aspects is transcendence, going beyond them, coming even more deeply into the peace of being, ignoring this stuff and coming more and more into the peace of being and abiding in that peace of being without touching this. And of course, by coming into that peace of being, naturally, these wounded aspects do start to unwind and settle and become less invasive within your experience or less difficult within your experience. But I take a different approach for whatever reason, and I think probably because I experienced a lot of trauma and a lot of difficulty. I've taken a different approach, and my approach is the approach of transmutation. You could call it the alchemical approach. And that is to meet all of these wounded aspects of self with love, with awareness, with curiosity, with consciousness, to welcome the shadow into the light of awareness. To welcome all of these different wounded parts which have an emotional holding within the nervous system, within the body, to welcome them all up into the light of awareness. And something magical happens when you welcome just one of these parts, one of these wounded parts, up into the light of awareness. And instead of pushing it away, instead of resisting it, you kind of let it in. You learn to welcome these parts in. Then you realize that these energies, which can be felt as negativity and as psychological difficulty, these energies, when met, when welcomed into the light of awareness, are light themselves. And when you meet them, when you don't resist them, when you welcome these wounded aspects of self in, you feel them as divine qualities within your own consciousness. Every wound, every painful emotion, when truly met, can be transmuted into something good. We've all had this experience of our heart feeling broken for whatever reason. And then a certain point comes where, I don't know, we listen to a piece of music and the heart just cracks open. We might cry, and we cry and it releases, and then we feel this just immense love, and we're like, why was I so sad? Why was I so upset? Because there's just this immensity of love which pours through the heart. Now that's one example of transmutation, the transmutation of heartbreak into divine love. And there's many, many different ways we can explore this. And yeah, this has been and this is my path. And sometimes you don't meet these parts as parts. Sometimes you don't meet it in a kind of, you don't meet the psychology of it. Sometimes you just meet the body and you feel a release of energy, and you feel this loving, holding, almost angelic energy just coming into the body and just scooping stuff out of your nervous system, just coming into the body and just transmuting whatever's in the nervous system. And if you practice this every day, and if you move towards this every day, and you give yourself space to go through this process every day, there's just a deepening and a deepening and a deepening into goodness. And this rested, settled beingness just becomes more and more your resting place. And you just feel more and more filled with love, filled with goodness. And then everything in life supports this process. Because everything in life that happens to you, that might be challenging, brings up new stuff for you to meet, to explore, to transmute, to transmutate. So I love this approach to awakening. There's so much gold in it. There's so much juice in it. And I've had amazing teachers who've supported me through this, and I still work with an amazing teacher who supports me with this on a weekly basis. In fact, I'm going to go and see her in an hour. She's incredible. She teaches me a lot. And yeah. So if you are interested in this approach to healing, I want to let you know that I have another satsang this Sunday at 5 p.m. UK time. Sometimes it'll be 5 p.m, sometimes it'll be 3 p.m, but this week it's 5 p.m, and the topic is transmutation. I'll probably think of a nicer title than that, something to do with transmutation, the alchemical transmutation of our shadow into light, transmuting darkness into light. And the greater the darkness you have inside, the greater the potential for light to shine through you, to be cracked open by life. It's the way of the cross. You could call it the way of the cross. Okay, I'll drop the link in the description here, and you can sign up, and you'll get the Zoom link, and I'll see you on Sunday if you want to come. And it's when we meet live, there is a group energy field. There's a kind of wonderful energy field which is created, and it's very enjoyable, and people tend to get a lot out of it. So yeah, if you fancy it, I'll see you there. Much love. Take care.